Hey YouTube, I'm back with another video, and there's nothing to do in FIFA Mobile except League versus Attack, campaigns, and a couple other stuff like watching ads. So I decided to come up with a video idea of just talking about FIFA Mobile and what's been happening and my thoughts on why people are leaving FIFA Mobile and the state of the game currently, since we're in the middle of the season and halfway through. Before we start this video, if you like or support my content, please leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed, drop a sub, and I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and talk about some things. So first off, FIFA Mobile, they have icons, but right now they decided that there's no icons at all, whereas before there'd be icons being released and then they would repeat certain batches and re-release old icons. Yet recently they decided to not even release new icons or even bring back old icons, so now we're left with no icons, and there's still a whole bunch of icons that haven't been released, such as Ronaldo, Pele, Hernandez, Crespo, Perez, and the list goes on. Honestly, they need to work on their communication, and instead of telling us it's coming soon, give us a date, give us a estimated arrival of these new icons. Don't just say it's coming soon but then don't give us a date. Now we're just left with no icons, and then that leads me to my second point is there's no events. Yes, there is daily warm-ups, there's domination, there's team hero, and there's other events in the game, but there's the event like weekend tournament. Weekend tournament was pay to play. It turned into pay to play. Before it was almost free to play friendly. Now it was pay to play, and then they decided to take it away, telling us hopefully bring it back, but now it's still gone. Also, community favorites. Community favorites was an event that was on Sunday, and it would refresh every week, and it would actually give us a chance of getting players that we can either melt or even use. So now we're left with no events during seasonal events where they're gone and people are not having anything to grind for. So then also the last event, Lunar New Year, and that was a great event, but then they decide to have no new event when it ended, and I'm all for that, but it goes back to remembering that weekend tournament and community favorites was taken away, and then now we're having nothing to actually play for. Instead of people are only playing campaign, league versus attack, but all those modes are getting boring and people need something new to be entertained and actually be involved in the game. There's other games out there like Fortnite, which is actually come to iOS first and then later Android. You already know that Fortnite is very popular. People are deciding to leave the game and play other games, Fortnite just being one of them. So if all these companies decide to release games that are actually free to play friendly and are entertaining, people are obviously gonna use common sense to leave the game and try these other games. Versus Attack is pay to play. You look at the top 250 and all you see is high overall players, me included. I used to be in Versus Attack and I used to play it all the time, and now I'm just playing a couple of games every day to meet the daily objectives, or I'm not playing it at all. And then you look at the leaderboard currently and the top player has a little bit over 1.4 or 1.5 1.6 million fans, whereas before, in order to get number one, people would have to play over 1.7 or 1.8. but then now people, even other people in the top 250, they're not playing as much, and it reflects in their fans. Of course, I wish that the mode was more free to play friendly, or they just get rid of it altogether like they did last season when they took away attack mode and brought versus attack. What I wish they would do is take versus attack and give us actual online head-to-head. Now versus attack itself is a mode where they recently changed the possessions, and honestly before the possessions were fine. I didn't find any problem with them, but now they changed it, so now it's taken some time to get used to these new possessions, these new opportunities, these new changes. The corners have gotten nerfed, in my opinion. Sometimes shots don't translate to a goal because the keeper is buffed, and then sometimes when you go swipe, the shot doesn't trigger, or the player doesn't decide to actually shoot in the direction he wants you to shoot. Sometimes you make passes and the passes aren't completed. Players run into each other. There's no new events, but now they decide to release new packs. And there's always new kind of packs, new promos, new bundles, and yet they don't decide to at least re-release old icons or release an event that is weekly so people can actually play it before a new seasonal event comes. For example, that double FIFA point offer now available in store is an example where they decide to keep pay-to-play players interested, but that doesn't solve the problem with free-to-play players or players who spend only a little bit of money on the game because they want actual content instead of packs or promos that involve money. So now we know that Versus Attack is going to be reset on the 16th. This is an opportunity for EA to redeem themselves and hopefully make the mode better, but I don't have any high hopes or expectations for the company, but I am keeping my mind open-minded. EA themselves needs to work on their communication. There is no other company I can think that does it worse at communication. People need to know when things are happening, what is happening. Sometimes they release updates in the game but don't let us even know what they updated. They don't release every single release note, but they don't have to. They just need to simply post on their social media, like Fortnite, what they fixed in the game, why, and what they're planning to fix, and just acknowledging the fact that there's players that have concerns and answering their concerns. I go on Twitter a lot and there's people who always mention developers and they mention EA FIFA Mobile themselves, but they don't get an answer back. There's all these players who have questions aren't being answered. Just take the time and hire some people to give feedback and actually collect the feedback in the community instead of having only a couple men do the work of the entire company instead. Game itself is pay to play. I mentioned that Versus Attack is a mode that's pay to play, but you know that League versus League is pay to play. A league that faces another league that has lower overall is gonna win, and the league that has lower overall that faces a higher overall league loses. It usually is that way because the game is set to pay to play. The very first couple months of season 1, game was not based around overall, and ever since it was changed to overall based, the game became more and more pay to play. They would just release new cards and not think about other factors of the game that people want, such as new modes, stable servers, or even transparency in their communication. Servers themselves are always laggy for me. They always lag. Every time there's a new event, the servers crash for the most part, or when on a typical day I go in Versus Attack and I get lag, and that translates to lost matches. There's lag in every other part of the game. There's lag when you open the packs. There's lag when you watch the ads. There's lag when you enter in the game. They really need to not only work on releasing new events, but they need to work and invest money in their servers. I keep mentioning this, but they don't want to listen. Anyways, if I forgot anything about the game, please let me know why in the comments, and also if you just enjoyed the rant and the content that I make, please leave a like. A like goes a long way. And there's always my Twitter that you can follow if you're interested in following me. And also, I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm looking forward to March 16th and what it brings to us. That being said, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.